and welcome to this edition of the Express Pharma Nutrify Today Boardroom series. Today we are joined by Dr. Raktim Chattopadhyay, founder and CEO of Esperer Nutrition. Hello, Dr. Chattopadhyay. Welcome to the show.
Hi, hello, Viveka.
Dr. Raktim founded Esperer Nutrition Group of Companies in 2019, offering researched and validated innovative disease-specific nutritional interventions to help patients and doctors manage and recover from cancer and NCDs. His current role as a member of the task force, Nutraceutical Council to the PSA office, Government of India, reflects his commitment to elevate the Indian nutraceuticals to the new global stage. So, Dr. Raktim, could you start by sharing with us the story of your journey leading to the current position of your company, Esperer Nutrition, in the market?
Well, thank you very much for having me here, and it gives immense pleasure to me for communicating in this August forum. I come from a techno-commercial background. Almost 2 decades I spent in the pharmaceuticals. So, pharmaceuticals is the main ground which I have worked in last 20 years. And then mainly I was focused to working in various corporates, mainly anti-cancer and cancer-related areas, both for domestic and global market. And while working with cancer disease and cancer drug manufacturing, cancer market, and cancer research related area, one thing was very clear to me that though we have progressed a lot when it comes to the drug innovations in space of anti-cancer, there are a lot can be done in terms of patient quality related, quality of life related work when it comes to the cancer patients. Because the higher the drug has been coming, the more effective drug is coming in this space, the toxicity level are very high. So it impacts equally in the normal cells of the body. So there are bound to be reactions which definitely body needs to be well nourished, and nutrition plays a big role into it. And when I looked at the global picture, I hardly found except few players who are dedicatedly working for cancer nutrition space, and I found that this space could be a right to approach from the patient point of view, and that's how we started thinking of cancer nutrition as a category. I would say that Esperer Nutrition, since its journey, has focused that how to improve the quality of life of cancer patients, that's true, but how that category can be created where it can complement the main therapy, that was our main objective. And that's how the Esperer Nutrition we started. And even before incorporation of the company, the thought process was going on quite a long time before. And then there is a lot of lab work, there is a lot of groundwork is being created, and finally we could formulate certain formulations which liked by the Indian doctors and hospitals, and we thought of commercializing. That's how that whole story of Esperer Nutrition started.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that explanation. And is this something to do with the Dini axis hypothesis, which you've mentioned on your website, which is now a globally patented concept? What's its role in Esperer Nutrition's growth? And you mentioned a lot of lab work and clinical work that goes into the formulation of these nutritional supplements used during the cancer patients' chemotherapy and journey towards recovery. Could you expand on that a bit, please?
Yeah, of course. It has been accepted quite a long time by the global forum and researchers that the gut microbiota has got an immense role in terms of preventions and management of non-communicable diseases. And from there only we started working. Even my academic work also earlier was quite related to the gut microbiota and clinical critical diseases. So from there, Dini axis is a very well-known scientific facts which we have converted into an hypothesis. That hypothesis can give directions for new formulation development in the space of clinical nutrition, where we have emphasized mainly how nutritional interventions can prevent or manage the non-communicable disease, including cancers, some kind of cancers. So we have done extensive work. Our R&D team has done extensive work in this particular area. And just to summarize this, all our products that we have commercialized and future pipeline products that Esperer Nutrition is having is based on this hypothesis. So there is a strong role is being played in over the immunomodulations through gut microbiota, and that's how the product has been designed and studies has been done.
Okay, right. So Esperer is today positioning itself as the world's first condition and stage-specific cancer nutrition therapy company. Thus, your products actually serve very critically ill patients, and so are very different from the usual nutraceuticals that one finds in the chemist shop, which are taken by healthy individuals to stay healthy. So what's the clinical research and evidence that backs each Esperer product before the market launch? Could you take us through that process?
Oh, it's like, first I want to communicate that whatever the product that we have launched and the concept that we are talking about, we are not talking something rocket technology. What we have done, the ASPEN and ISPEN guideline, the European and American guideline for to manage the critically ill patients when it comes to the nutrition as a product, we have converted those guidelines into a format, into product. Okay, and while doing this, we have found, like one example is that the nutritional guidelines of international guidelines says preconditioning, nutritional preconditioning is must for before starting any critical therapy, including cancer. So we have just created one formula which is helping patients to preconditioning nutritionally by giving nutritional supplements, how the preconditioning can be done so the chemotherapy or main therapy, whatever the patients are taking, they are more accommodative and complementing to the main therapy. So if you look at the formulation of the product also, it's nothing which is very innovative ingredient has been used, not like that. It has been given all comprehensive formula, but use certain facts, like we have tried to restrict the sugar entry through the diet and through the supplements, and we have tried to give the energy to the patient from the non-carbohydrate sources. So cancer cells cannot produce energy from the non-carbohydrate cells, where the normal cells can. So once you are giving the energy source from the non-carbohydrate, that means you are not feeding the cancer cells. The problem in current approach is whatever the cancer patients is nutrition they are taking, it is also has a chance to feed the cancer cells also. So our objective is not to give or to nutrition to the cancer cells. We have to give nutrition to the normal cells. So body is one. How do you do that? So that's how the formulation has been made such a way so cancer cell cannot utilize those nutraceuticals agents to proliferate, to grow, whether the normal cell can. So this kind of basic scientific facts, which has been accepted and well accepted across the globe, is being used in the formulations and given a product, a therapy concept. So quality of life of cancer patients can be improved.
Right, and I guess that you might have also modified them for Indian diet conditions, etc., etc. Going from there, all these products work on the drug nutrition interactions. It's also working on immunomodulation, changing a patient's diet to precondition them before they start their therapy. All this would be needing a lot of close interactions between dietitians, clinicians, and patients, both at the formulation stage as well as at the recommendation stage, to recommend these things to these regimes to cancer patients. So, how did your company go about building these relationships and the trust with the doctor and dietitian communities in India and in whichever geography you're launching your products?
Thank you for asking this question, because this is a very critical question, I believe, when anyone building a company which is focused to the clinical nutrition space. See, look, because our digital market is growing so fast, so there is a good part of it, there is another adverse part of it, that we get the informations very quickly, handy. That's true. At the same time, the information that is coming to us, whether it is a well validated or not, that is something sometimes create a problem, and that's the dark side of the this digital marketing. So as a group, we believe that supplement is something which should be the last option. Our basic nutrition, energy, everything should come from the food. So supplement is not a mandatory things. It is only required when the patient is not able to get the right food in a right quantity, or maybe there are some medical difficulties because of some critical disease like cancer. Patient is not able to take food. That is the time where the supplement is required. Supplement is not something which I can go and anytime I can buy and take it, which is a current trend. So we are emphasizing very strongly that two things. One, whenever you are taking supplements, especially when a critical disease are there, do consult with your physicians and dietitian. This is a must area. Supplement cannot be taken, though as per the regulations, there is no strong regulations where it can be prevented. But yes, there are strong guidelines by which category that your product has been put and all those things, which has been even made more stringent in nowadays by the government of India. So we as a company, our first level of contact is always remain with the doctors and dietitians, and we try to reach them, and we try to, whatever our expenses, we try to go for the medically product to be presented in front of them, and the concept to be presented, discussed with them, and it has to come through our prescriptions. That is one that as a group always we believed, and we have continued doing it. Second, specifically to the cancer disease, again as per the international guidelines, we hardly follow in India, barring few institutes, few areas. Nutritional assessment for cancer patients is a must. Oncologist, before deciding the regimen of the drugs or protocol of drugs, the oncologist should have in their hand that what is the nutritional status, what is the malnutrition status of the patient. Based on that, it will be easier for him to decide some kind of drugs. There are regimens which has got a contraindications. So we are trying to bring that service to the oncologist and dietitians, so they can assess the patients and they get at least the right assessment of the patients. So these are the two areas we have been embarking on from day one. A long way to go, obviously, but we are trying to structure it out. We are taking technology's help, how it can be, even the patient also can self-assessment can be done, and then report can reach to the dietitians and doctors to validate it. That kind of things we are still working on. I think these are the two areas where the Esperer Nutrition as a company, our ethics lies on.
Right. So what are the current therapeutic focus areas for Esperer Nutrition? Any more in the pipeline that you can throw some light on?
Yeah, of course. We initially have the products which is cancer focused and applies mostly all kind of solid tumors. But gradually our pipeline, our R&D has worked cancer specific, site specific nutrition. Like we have recently in the final stage, advanced stage of the product on colorectal cancer, then breast cancer. the cancer for child, so supplements for the child cancers. So we are going more specific, cancer specific, site specific nutritional interventions for cancer. Secondly, we are also working in the CNS area as a there are a lot of areas like Alzheimer's or PD. These are the areas where nutrition has got a lot of role as a supportive care, at least to give support to some symptomatic relief to the patient, some improvement of the quality of life of the patients. So we are working on that. Obviously, we have tied up recently with some of the eminent government institute to using their scholars and resources, so we can expand the span of research can be more. Even in the beyond the geographies of India, we have reached to some regulated countries where for the research collaborations in these areas.
Coming now to your role as a member of the task force of the Nutraceutical Council of the Government of India, what would be your strategy to build a brand around Indian nutraceuticals for the global stage?
Oh, I think Government of India currently they're extremely industry friendly. I would say that, and I've been fortunate to interact with the government officials in this regard and number of times. And government is very keen nowadays to understand the industry's perspective, and of course to improve the nutraceutical exports in the global market. So in this context, being a part of the task force under BSA office, we are trying to address the operational gap which we have which is coming in the way to export HS import and kind of activities, and successfully the team has already been done. Government become extremely helpful to resort those things. When it comes to the clinical nutrition, where I completely come from the background, I see that that regulations are very important when the Indian brands are going to outside the country. Even I have seen when I took my product to the United Kingdom or any other geographies which are highly regulated, India has been seen extremely respected way when it comes to the pharmaceutical or nutraceuticals. We all know that. Only thing is that our consensus of building the regulatory things in the clinical trials or some kind of patient-oriented trials are must, I feel, when it comes to the clinical nutrition. And we as a company are emphasizing, and at the same time we are urging all the clinical nutrition company to focus on this area apart from the marketing the products. And doctors-oriented promotions also something that it has to be, and it is there in the gene of India, because Indian nutraceuticals coming from the pharmaceuticals background. I think the vision of pharma companies are having and shown to the global, if it can be replicated to the nutraceuticals, I think the revolution can happen, and only India can do it. And this council is absolutely towards that.
Coming now to the new age tools like artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc., that are disrupting other sectors. Are these AI and ML tools also disrupting the Nutra sector? For example, can they help companies like yours discover and study drug-food immunity interactions faster, manage more effective marketing strategies, to design and tweak go-to-market strategies on the go? Are these kind of tools making any impact in the nutraceutical sector, especially in your segment, which is clinical nutrition?
Of course, I mean, though artificial intelligence and algorithm become a very, very progressing tool at this juncture, when it comes to the nutraceutical, especially for the companies like me, we are extra careful on that, because the informations which are there may not be all informations are validated. And the critical informations, I am referring the critical data which the Indian manufacturer holds a large number of significant data, and those data are at a personalized store. So it is not a centralized way. So pulling those data in a very ethical way and using that big data for formulations, auto formulations or validations using the AI, I think that is a challenge. And Nutrify Genie they have taken I think first mover advantage. They have it at this juncture, the kind of work on this matter they have done it. Even some of my products has been also gone through the Genie. I have seen that there are a lot of prospects in such approach where a company who wants to commercialize the product faster. Because today this is a challenge, ideation to commercialization, reaching to the end users. If the time is taken 2 years, 3 years, I think that a lot of things changes at a science and the research level in these times. So that idea which is being commercialized, by that time it reaches to the patient's hand, it becomes back. So here the AI and ML has got a huge things to push this line up, and it can be made within 3 months or 6 months. If product can be commercialized with the right data, right validations, with the right backup and the right information, I think this can create disruptions because India has got a lot of good promising startups and good companies, mid-sized companies who can do wonders in nutraceuticals, and waiting for this kind of value additions where AI guided kind of support both at a market end as well as a formulation R&D end. And I feel that this is where we are heading to, and it's fantastic.
Great, Dr. Raktim. And you spoke about the startups, which are there so many in India, and looking at the nutraceutical sector. So I'd like to end this interview by asking you 3 pieces of advice, or if you like, business mantras that you as a mentor could give to entrepreneurs starting out in the nutraceutical sector.
Well, I know this is a tough job to do it, but I can say from my experience, the 3 things which matters the most for a startup to be successful. Number 1, raising of funds. When funds to be raised, how much funds to be raised, and what should be dilutions, that has to be well thought through. An entrepreneur should take a proper legal and financial help before they plan for it. Getting a funds is easier nowadays in India. Even the big companies are coming up, which is extremely good. I have been benefited for that also personally in my companies. But we are too focused, the founders are too focused to the market, too enthusiastic about the product they have created. They forget to take the financial help, the expert help before introducing the investors or doing all. So this is the first piece of advice. We should spend some time and some money towards building that structure, financial structure. Second is, I think the second advice is, the entry strategy and scale-up strategies should be extremely different. It is two-end. So entry strategy should be through the strength of the founder, but scale-up strategy should be the strength of the hire that we do, the talent that we acquire, the consultation that we take. So founder should be less dependent on his own strength when it comes to the scale-up. Entry can be well addressed by the founders. This is the second piece of advice from my experience. And third, which is very critical, there is a phase between when you established your product as a concept, but you don't get the numbers in hand. So my request is that control your emotions. This is the time when we build a company. When the products are accepted, in the market, but the numbers has not come. Unless we get the numbers, we cannot predict 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. It's very hypothetical. it has to have a certain number, certain validity, and that only comes when you establish a repeated supply, you establish a repeated, rhythm of your sales. So sales cycles has to be managed, and this is the time I think I would say that just take a breath, relook at entire things, self-introspect at these situations, understand who is writing, how the patient is liking the product, and then go to the next stage of the scale. That's how it is.
Thank you, Dr. Raktim. Those are very good pieces of advice to take help financially, as well as understand at what stage of the journey the founder should be closely acquainted, closely involved with the journey, and at the last, to have patience, take a breath, and take patience to build the company from within while the market numbers grow. On that note, thank you so much, Dr. Raktim, for speaking to us, for giving us some insights into your journey and into the journey of the clinical nutrition segment in India. Thanks for speaking to Express Pharma and for the Nutrify Boardroom series.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.